And we are back. Welcome to my predictions for the finals of the football at these Olympic Games. It is time for the gold medal matches. 3 weeks of action have come down to these final 2 matches. And before we get into it, a massive thank you to all of you that have got yourselves involved in this series. This has been by far my most successful series ever on this channel in terms of viewer engagement, in terms of likes, in terms of comments. So a massive thank you for all of you that have got involved in this Olympic series. And don't forget that Premier League and the new season will be starting as early as literally tomorrow when we do our Community Shield prediction for the first game of the new season. So if you haven't done so already, please do consider subscribing to this channel. We're going to have predictions coming for you throughout the entirety of the next season, all leading up to another summer of action when we will have the women's once again. We will have the Men's Club World Cup, as well as much, much more. So there's going to be all sorts of content coming up for you over the course of the next season. So make sure you are subscribed and drop a like on the video if you're new around here as well, to let me know that you're excited for what is coming up in the future. And if you did miss yesterday's video for the bronze medal matches, you can check them out by clicking the link in the top of your screen right now. But we're not here to talk about bronzes today. We're here to talk about golds. It's the Olympic finals, and let's get into it right now. We start off, as we did yesterday, with the men's football. The men's match is being played tomorrow, with the women's match being played on Saturday. So we'll start off with the men, which is the host nation France taking on the European champions of Spain. A massive, incredible fixture. I think some people would have predicted this as the final going into the tournament, but obviously the way it would have got to this position, maybe not. But it is France against Spain, and look, I've said throughout the tournament, I thought the French were going to be the favourites for this. I think they have the best squad. I'm not convinced about Thierry Henry as a manager, but he's managed to get the best out of them. They've played, in my opinion, the best football of any team in this tournament. Maybe save Morocco when they had their moments, but for overall consistency, the French have been the best team in this tournament. They hadn't conceded a goal until the semi-final, but it is that semi-final performance that throws some doubt over me saying that the French will win this game, because they weren't great against Egypt, and I spoke about it in the bronze medal video. I think Egypt were very, very unlucky not to come away with the win in that semi-final. They played really, really good, defensively solid, hit France at the right moments, and like I say, they scored, which is something that France weren't used to. That said, I did say going into that semi-final that the loss of Kone in midfield was massive for France, and he will be back for this final. And we all know that Spain's biggest threat is Fermin Lopez, who we'll get to shortly. But having Kone back in the team massively makes emphasis on the fact that he could be the difference between Spain winning and losing themselves, because he will be the player to stop Fermin Lopez. That will be the aim going into it. Also, they have Mateta up front, who has continued his goal-scoring form from Crystal Palace last season. He's one of the top goal scorers in this tournament. And I'll get more on him in a moment when I talk about Spain, but I think he's going to be the real danger for the French in this final. As for Spain, like I said again in yesterday's video, they were, in my opinion, the better team against Morocco, purely because of how they actually handled the situation. It was a very even match. It was a very entertaining match. But ultimately, Spain had more possession over the 90 minutes. And not only that, despite having the same number of shots, Spain had a significant number more on target, which ultimately led to them scoring the 2 goals, which ultimately led to them progressing to this final. And that is how you manage tournament football. You take your chances when they come. The Spanish did that. The Moroccans didn't. So Spain are here. And the main culprit for all of that success was, of course, Fermin Lopez. I don't know if they do player of the tournament, but I think certainly if the Spanish win, it is going to be Fermin that wins player of the tournament. Again, you can make arguments for Rahimi. You can make arguments for Mateta. You can even make arguments for the likes of Kone and Bade in the French midfield and defence. But for me, Fermin Lopez has been probably the standout player of this tournament. And it was him that got the goal and assist that got Spain here. Another brilliant goal from him to get the equaliser. And it was him that set up Wanlu for the winner. And again, we know how the Spanish are going to play. They're going to play possession. They're going to want to starve France of the ball. They're going to look to create opportunities. But it's going to be difficult for them. Like we keep saying, the French have only conceded 1 goal in this tournament, and that was with their key holding midfielder missing from their team. He is back. He is going to be on Fermin. Is that going to be enough to see the French get the win? For me, I'm still going for France. I'm going for 2-1. I've backed them throughout the tournament. And the reason I spoke about Mateta earlier is because of his size and his physicality. This Spanish centre-back partnership of Kubasi and Eric Garcia, they're 6 foot. Mateta is like, what, 6'3", 6'4". He is massive. The French know how to use him to the best of his abilities. You look at that goal he scored the other day, the corner, where he just flies in and flew over everyone. I don't think the Spanish have anything in their arsenal to really deal with that, other than their substitute striker that's just signed for Chelsea, who I can never say his name properly, Omarodian. Like, he's their answer to Mateta, but it'd be a massive shock for me to see him come into the lineup other than in the late stages of the matches if Spain are losing. But this is the way I see it. I think France are going to edge it. I'm going to go for 2-1 to the French. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. As for the women's, Brazil against America, I did not expect at all. And I don't think many people did. Again, we spoke about the semi-final from a Spanish perspective yesterday. Now we have to talk about it from a Brazilian perspective. Lorena in goal. What an unbelievable goalkeeper she is. Like, she has carried Brazil through this tournament. The penalty saves, the numerous saves against Spain in that semi-final. Some of those saves from Putillas and from Paraguelo were some of the best saves I've ever seen, period. Not just from a women's goalkeeper that are obviously shorter than the men's goalkeepers, but some of the saves, the tip onto the crossbar, just unbelievable goalkeeping. And who knows, she might be enough to keep America out for the entirety of this game and will win Brazil this gold medal. But the other thing is, they took their chances. I spoke about it with Spain in the men's, but it was the opposite for the Spanish women. They didn't take their chances. Brazil took theirs. They used the Spanish piling people forward to pick their moments to strike, and they had the better chances, and they took, I think, all but one of them. So absolutely lethal from Brazil. And America will be aware of that. They know that they can't be too gung-ho against the Brazilians, because if they are, Brazil will pick them off and they will beat them. That then brings us to America, who, under Emma Hayes, have produced the most Emma Hayes tournament that you can expect. If you're going to get Emma Hayes in charge, it's to win trophies. She's like the Jose Mourinho of women's football. She is so methodical in how she approaches winning matches to win tournaments. That is what Emma Hayes does. She was brought into the American team to do exactly what she's been doing. They were aggressive, they were free-flowing, and they got the job done in the group stages. They have come into the knockout stages, and they've won 1-0, 1-0. That is what an Emma Hayes team does. They are robust, they are solid, they know how to beat their opposition. And unfortunately, I just think that's what's going to happen here. So I'm going to go for 1-0 again, because that is what they'll do. They will make sure to nullify the Brazilian threat and then utilise their ability with the likes of Swanson, with the likes of Sophia Smith, with the likes of Rodman, utilise the pace, utilise the skill, Lavelle, etc. And they will wear Brazil down. And like I said, I know Lorena has had a phenomenal tournament, but Spain did miss chances in that matches as well as the ones that she saved. And again, I spoke about how many saves the German goalkeeper Berger made in their semi-final from the likes of Smith, etc. But USA will wear them down. I really do think they will. If Brazil can get lucky with another crazy own goal, something like that, like we saw in the Spanish game, this final gets blown wide open. But I just don't see an Emma Hayes side making a mistake like that. So for me, America will end up taking it, but I think it's going to be a close one. Obviously, Marta's last ever game for Brazil, arguably the biggest name in women's football history. She will be making her final ever appearance for Brazil in this match. So the football romantic in me would love to see that happen for her, because she's never won a major trophy for Brazil. But I just don't see it happening. For me, it's America's to lose, America to take it, in my opinion. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. It's going to be a very good pair of finals, in my opinion. I'm definitely going to be watching every minute of the men's. I will not be watching the women's, sadly, because it is the Community Shield, and I will be watching Man United, Man City. But that's the way I see it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I will be back tomorrow morning with my prediction for that Charity Shield. I'll see you there.